Weeknights on MeTV.
Ta-da.
Who loves you, baby?
You shouldn't ask.
It's Kojak.
Well, it sounds like music to my ear.
On MeTV.
Look at me.
Why do we love him?
Maybe it's the way I comb my hair.
Or maybe it's his trusty right-hand man.
More bite? Crocker! Crocker! Crocker!
Kojak!
Well, I just wanted to hear how it sounded.
Telly Savalas is Kojak.
Story of my life, baby.
Weeknights at 12:30, 11:30 Central on MeTV.
Who loves you?
Hi, I'm John Malos, and welcome to this edition of Connect with Me, live on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this Wednesday morning. Hey, we're on Comcast 187 and 43.6, World of Sports today. We have one great guest in the studio, used to work at ESPN Radio right here in the city of Fresno, and you know what? He's the new head football coach at Edison High. Your phone calls are important, 436-ME-TV. Don't wade through the message, hit option 11. Let your fingers do the walking. Back in a moment.
Tonight I want to discuss the importance of the television medium to the American people.
Today is the World of Sports segment here on this Wednesday morning, live on the showroom floor at Ventura TV, and we're talking World of Sports. And even though our guest is part owner in the World Sports Cafe, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but we're going to talk about, first of all, a very historic event that took place yesterday, late yesterday afternoon, into the early evening in Cincinnati, Ohio. It was the Reds versus my San Francisco Giants. A no-hitter by Homer Bailey, his second. Remember, Homer Bailey had a no-hitter last year, and this year he comes along, and last night against the Giants, he threw his second no-hitter, although it was the first no-hitter of the major leagues this season. Not only that, he becomes only the third pitcher in Cincinnati Reds history to throw more than one no-hitter. Here's a look at the final inning.
A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter.
Oh, what a celebration on the field.
Homer Bailey joins Johnny Vandermeer and Jim Maloney as the only three Reds in franchise history to throw more than one no-hitter. Each of them threw a pair. Homer Bailey throws his second on this July the 2nd, 2013, in a 3-0 win over the San Francisco Giants.
That is a huge deal to throw a no-hitter. In case you're not following sports or don't care about baseball, do you know what a big deal that is to throw a no-hitter? And so Bailey joins the likes of Johnny Vandermeer and Jim Maloney to throw more than one no-hitter for the Cincinnati Reds. Live in our studio right now is Matt Johnson. We're going to talk to Matt about that. Why? Hey, he's a sports expert, my friends. He used to be a talk show host on ESPN Radio here in Fresno. I say used to be. He's the new head football coach at Edison High School. They've always got a good team. And also, he's the part owner of the World Sports Cafe, of course, in River Park. Your phone call's important, 436-ME-TV. Hit option 11. Don't wade through the message. Hit option 11. We're back live here on the showroom floor in just a moment.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean Dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire. Over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
I'm Trip Douglas.
Welcome home and stuff.
And I'm Ernie Douglas.
James Bond, Secret Agent 007.
And we're here to tell
Ernie!
you.
Just a minute, Uncle Charlie.
Come on, Ernie, you're gonna be late for school.
We're doing a promo for Me TV and junk.
Ernie, Trip.
Yes, Dad.
Come here a minute, will you?
We'll be down in a minute. As I was saying. Tramp, be quiet. Tramp?
Hey, have you guys seen Robbie? Oh, hi, I'm Katie Douglas.
We're my three sons.
Ernie, I had to learn about women like Melissa through long, tough experience.
Let me make my own mistakes. They're half the fun. And one daughter-in-law.
Thanks. Now I really feel like one of the family.
Watch me on Me TV.
You think girls are just boys' gift wrap.
Weekday mornings at 7, 6 Central on Me TV.
It's real neat.
Yeah, that's right. While Pablo Sandoval is driving through Taco Bell and McDonald's and eating ho-hos under the covers, Homer Bailey's throwing a no-hitter for the Reds. My guest today, Matt Johnson. Good no-hitter last night, huh?
Oh, beautiful, if you're not a Giants fan. But,
hey, we got a call right off the bat.
Yeah,
why don't we take it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. How are you? Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question for the new coach at Edison. Great job they've been doing over there. What is going on with, whenever Edison has a game at, say, Bullard, they're having a lot of gunplay, out in the parking lots, and I've noticed that with a lot of these school sports, a lot of violence going on out there in the stands and the parking lots. Should we, just pull the plug on these programs so these people learn how to act? Because if it was guns, they would take away all our guns over this. So the money's so attractive because you can get out of the high school and go straight into a professional team, make $15, $16 million a year. But, I mean, I don't want to take my grandkids or my friends' kids or whatever, go to one of these games and be collateral damage, and if I am or they are, who's going to be responsible for it? Because I don't think it's right. I think they should just go ahead and pull the plug if these people don't know how to act. They'd lock me up for it. But, I mean, I like Edison. Clovis is a hard match for you guys. You got your work cut out for you. That's all I got to say. I want to see somebody take care of this. I want to go see some games.
Right.
I appreciate your call.
Thank you very much.
I'll let you handle that, Coach.
Well, what he's referring to is they had some incidents over the last 2 or 3 years at basketball games.
Yeah.
The problem is it's not the school, although there's some responsibility for security at the schools, but it's nefarious characters that all types of different individuals can go to these games. And if there's someone in the game, in the gym, that has an issue with someone else, I mean, these things have happened. I will point out, though, that the school feel comfortable about being in there. They've got safety as their primary objective at all games, not just in Fresno Unified, but Clovis Unified. And I have never seen, I've been doing this for 20-plus years, I've never seen anything that, God forbid, turned into something to where there was any collateral damage, as he said. So I think it is part of our society. It's not select to only one school or a Bullard Edison situation. It goes in all schools. You have to be careful. It's the world we live in today, John.
Yeah, it's just the way that we've got to protect ourselves and be careful and be cautious at all times. And if you see something, go to whoever to take care of it, a security guard, the principal, whatever.
Right.
And I'm sure there's security on campus at all of these events.
Everywhere.
There's got to be.
Everywhere. A lot of like I said, what he talked about, there was 2 incidents over the last 2 years where there was someone.
Basketball games
at Bullard High School in the gym. And I know I was at the game reporting on it, as you said, with ESPN. And like I said, there were some characters in the gym and there were some characters outside of the gym. But there was no one was injured, thank God, and it is part of what you have to be aware of, and the Fresno Police Department did a great job, and the security measures of the school district did a great job, but you can't stop the athletics, or you can't take away the good of what we all do.
Because they win.
Then they win, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I hate to put it in terms of what's really tragic, what goes on in Israel and the Middle East, and you can't let anyone like that win. So I'm very pleased with the measures that are being taken at this point.
I want to get into the issue of Edison football in a little while here, but I want to take care of some business right off the bat, because you are a jack of all trades. You're amazing. I mean, you're the new head football coach at Edison High. Okay, you're the part owner of World Sports Cafe with Tim McDonald, of course, the great 49er defensive back.
That's right. And
most recently, you're a talk show host to boot. All right, I'm going to turn you to the videotape here. Turn to the monitor and turn around, and we'll take a look at Chris Pacheco, the owner of ESPN Radio. Of course, he took over. Now, you and Nick Papagni had a radio show on there. A couple of weeks ago, they announced, boom, they gave you guys the axe.
Right.
What happened?
Well, there never was a good explanation. But however, I must say that they have a business to run. They've signed on with Fresno State. If I had to guess what had happened, we were running a high school show, John. Nick Papagni and I developed a high school show for our local kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the pressure is on at Fresno, for Fresno State, which they took over from KMJ. And there we go, the four letters.
And there's Chris Pacheco right there.
Yep.
Of course.
But they just said, hey, we're going in a different direction. Now, there were some things that were said after the fact. And I think because of the overwhelming support from our listeners on radio, that they had to make some kind of response, because everyone was really in shock of what happened. Bottom line is, it's their business decision. I don't have any ill will, but they've made their bed. They'll sleep in it, and that's basically what's going to have to happen.
Was it anything that you and Nick said on the air that maybe caught Chris's attention that he didn't like?
We probably were just radio is theater of the mind, and it's
hard. What do you mean by that?
Well, you can't obviously see, like we're looking at John and myself right now, what's going on in the studio or what we're doing. So we have to create a picture for our listeners. And to do that, we had to tell the truth sometimes, and I think sometimes the truth hurts. And we talk about things at Fresno State, such as no more wrestling, no more swimming and diving for the men.
No more track and field.
No more men's track and field scholarships. But yet we have a lacrosse team that fields scholarships for the women. Nothing against getting more women involved in sports. But
you're spending money to send them across where? Out of state
tournaments
or something.
in Florida.
Yeah.
Where you could go just as soon up the street to San Jose and spend less money. Decisions have been made, and they have to be. But we probably were critical enough to where maybe, I'm just guessing, that there was enough people that said over at the university or wherever that these guys are a little bit too controversial for our
taste.
Too
critical against our university, in other words. But that's what talk radio is.
Yeah.
I mean, even this show, sometimes we're critical of people. I mean, it's nothing personal, but if you don't tell the truth, the people at home, whether it's radio or TV, are going to see right through it. Are you with me on that?
Yeah, I am. And if you want just to be vanilla, that's great. There's a format for that, but I'm not there just to talk about scores and report on news that everyone knows.
Yeah, anybody can read a box score.
There you go. And that's my take. Now, once again, that's not what the statement from Chris Pacheco was. Basically, we were making statements that were a little bit inappropriate, I guess. But no one ever talked to us about it. No one told us anything about it.
You've got to be honest. That's the main thing. Our guest today is Matt Johnson, the new head football coach at Edison High. Hey, if you have any questions, he's a former he's a talk show host, and he's just, I don't know if are you looking for a gig right now?
Well, we have some things in the works. Yeah, we do. Yeah. So
right,
we want to continue to support the local and talk the high school and the junior highs and the elementary schools. We think that's an underserved area that we can fill.
All right, we'll talk to more about that with Matt Johnson and also the part owner of World Sports Cafe. 436-ME-TV. Any questions? I'm sure your questions will be way, way better than mine. Back in just a moment.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified #1 rated high-efficiency Cabrio from Whirlpool Place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Whirlpool Cabrio laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
Hey, we've got a call coming out of the break. Let's take it. We're with Matt Johnson here, the new head football coach at Edison High. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. How are you?
Hi. I'm not from Fresno. I mean, I'm from out of town, but I did listen on the radio. I just want to know, is he going to be involved in academics for the kids too? Where he's at Edison now? I mean, is that going to be important too? The kids' academic futures, not just football.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for that, because that is why we maybe had some perceptions and some problems in the past. My focus is very simple, John, and to anyone listening, we're student athletes. It's not athlete-student. We have to learn the value of an education because there's life outside of football. And when Tim McDonald took the job over 9-10 years ago, and I followed him as the offensive coordinator, our push was always to make sure that we handled the academic side as best we can, so when these kids go off to college, they're prepared. Tim McDonald and I both played football at USC, and our number one thing coming out of high school was that when we got into a college environment, we didn't really feel like we had the background and the foundation set to be ready for school, and that was Tim's mission. It is my mission today. We are athletes, secondary, student takes precedent, so we're developing tutoring programs and college preparatory type classes to get these kids ready. And the other thing too is social skills, conflict management and things like that. And the district's been very helpful, and we're working on the well-rounded individual.
Well, you're trying to debunk the myth that Edison only cares about sports. That's not true. Academically, they're moving up in terms of the academic world as far as a high school is concerned. In fact, Edison Computech is right there next door. Great middle school. It's probably the best middle school in all the city. Yeah. So you have a stepping stone from Edison Computech to Edison High.
That's correct. We get a perception. Some of it is based in reality. We've had some young athletes that have slipped through the cracks that just did not get done what they needed to get done.
But you're improving on that.
The bottom line, absolutely. The bottom line is, without programs, you have to understand that 90% of the young athletes, the young student athletes that I coach and that the coaches all coach, are coming from worlds where there's not necessarily mom and dad at home when they come home from school or from practice to say, sit down and do your homework. Make sure you do this or do that. A lot of these kids go home and they're from broken families, and it's just the reality of what it is.
They need guidance. That's the problem.
And we can't mentor these young student athletes with 2 or 3 hours a day. That is why my commitment is to be on campus, to be a teacher, and that's what I'm doing. This is not a part-time job for me coming up. This is a full-time gig.
Yeah, and that's what you care about. We'll talk about your football team a little bit later on, but let's get back to the radio talk show gig, the gig that you had. Now, what are you and Nick Papagni going to do now?
We're talking with other radio stations in town. We'd like to carry that torch to make sure that we're out there. And Nick Papagni has been unbelievable.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, unbelievable. People don't realize the amount of research and the amount of time he devotes to the young talent around our valley. All sports. We don't just settle in on baseball or football or basketball. We hit all the sports.
Your focus is on high school sports. That's your show with Nick, right? And Nick has been a guest here twice. He's a great guy. But your focus is on high school, whether it's football, baseball, basketball. You know the high school area. No one knows it better than you and Nick. Is that correct?
That's what we feel. I mean, there's a lot of great people out there that are helping to report, print media, television, radio.
But is that how you and Nick are going to sell yourselves as high school experts in the Valley?
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. When there's wrestling matches, track meets, softball, you name it, Nick or myself, we like to be there. We like to report on it. Nick's got a fabulous website that he's developed. So we're going to continue this. And there's a great group, Central Valley Sports Report. You might want to talk to Vince Bailey and get him on one of these days. He's got an outstanding college preparatory type website to get these young female and male athletes prepared for college. We follow that line. There's a lot of untapped areas where I think we can serve and help fill that void.
So you're marketing your talents, you and Nick, to other radio stations in the market right now. Nothing firm on the table, though.
Nothing firm on the table. We're working with 2 big broadcasting groups here in town to try to get back on air.
All right. Before we get into Edison football, we'll do that in the next segment.
Sure.
But let's talk a little bit about World Sports Cafe and how you got involved there with your friend, Tim McDonald.
Yeah, well, Tim McDonald and I played football together at USC.
Right.
When I moved my food brokerage company to the Valley, the first guy I looked up was my good old friend Tim, who I knew lived here in his hometown.
Were you guys roommates at
No,
SC,
we were just 2 defensive backs, shared the same huddle together, and really didn't hang out much in college, to be honest with you. We'd do a couple things together, but always respected him, and we rekindled our friendship from college. He had an idea, and the vision was he wanted to open a restaurant bar in town here. And from there, instead of having sawdust on the floor, I felt like we have to get together, Tim, and build something for families.
Yeah.
You know, the kids are first, and the mothers have to make decisions on where they want to dine, and that's how World Sports was developed 16 years ago. We're still going strong, and our lease is running out. Who knows what the future is? Tim now is coaching with the New York Jets.
Yep.
As a defensive
He's got two
sons and a daughter.
Right, 2 sons and a one son is with the Rams in the NFL.
That's right, just drafted to the
TJ, right?
Yeah, St. Louis Rams. TJ was with him yesterday. He's doing great.
Great.
And Tev McDonald is at Eastern Washington, another defensive back. And
great.
Daughter Taryn is at USC. So they have a perfect situation. Mom and dad are now, their kids are off to college or graduated. They can travel. And so Tim is upward mobile, building his dream, which is obviously to be a coach one day and a head coach
probably in the NFL.
Who knows?
That's probably.
But he's getting
wants.
it done. Very proud of him.
Yeah. So he's back. He's back in his old roots. He's doing what he loves to do.
When you've been involved in athletics and football for so long, it never leaves you. So he's still involved, which I love, and that's what I'm doing, and helping young guys out.
Before we go to break, you dabbled a little bit yourself in the NFL. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was drafted in the 5th round in 1986 to the San Diego Chargers. Never signed a contract, worked in a deal to Tampa Bay, off to Seattle Seahawks, and finished with the Los Angeles Raiders in L.A.
Yeah.
And got my 4 years of really never playing, never finding any real headway into the league, but it taught me a lot of lessons, and from there I spring-loaded into business from that.
Yeah, and you probably made a lot of friendships there in the NFL.
A lot of friendships, a lot of great stories. A lot of great stories. You and I talked about Seattle and Brian Bosworth, and hanging out with Bosworth when he arrived in Seattle was amazing.
Former Oklahoma star,
Oklahoma
linebacker.
Sooner.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's my dad's an Oklahoma guy, so it's interesting. And Barry Switzer and I are good friends to this day, the old coach from Oklahoma. But yeah, a lot of great memories, and I'm happy to land here in the Central Valley. I love it here.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you here, and good luck out there as a coach. We're going to talk about that in a moment. 436-ME-TV. Any questions for our guest, Matt Johnson, just call in. He's the new head football coach, taking over, of course, the Edison Tigers, taking over for the Edison Tigers. He's going to head that program. 436-ME-TV, hit option 11. We're back with our program in just a moment.
And now, the Alan Brady Show.
Hi, I'm Alan Brady. You remember me from the Alan Brady Show?
Yes, if Alan needs any help. Shut up, Mel. Yes, sir. Shut up, Mel. Shut up, Mel. Yes, sir.
I had the best TV writers on my show. Rob Petrie, Sally Rogers.
Hey, I got it. Don't anybody move.
And Buddy Sorrell.
Well, hey, you moved. I forgot it.
On the Dick Van Dyke Show here.
Alan, if you're...
Shut up, Mel. On Me TV.
Weeknights at 9:30, 8:30 Central on Me TV.
What's the matter with you?
Just a quick tidbit that no one cares about but me, but when I first came to Fresno in 96 or 97, they said, or when World Sports Cafe was first built, they said, you got to go out to World Sports Cafe. You got to get out to River Park. And I said, I don't even know where River Park is. I just got here. But we checked out World Sports Cafe. Great cafe. And if you haven't been out there, you're new into town, go out there, experience the food and the entertainment out there. They got a great movie theater out there too. Eat at the World Sports Cafe and go out and see a movie.
Yeah, we've had a good run. I mean, we're always, it seems funny to say this, but after 16 years, we're always trying to improve.
Yeah.
And we've gone through our ups and downs, there's no doubt about it. But for two football players, Tim McDonald with great drive, with myself out on the street and being involved in kind of that food business as I grew up in business, our relationship, our partnership worked. And it works well today as we sit here. But like I said, we're never satisfied. Tim McDonald's never satisfied. He worked that business daily. From the phone now in New York, he still works that business.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to turn you to the monitor one more time. We're going to take a look at some highlights from Edison High School and their football program. This was from a year ago, I believe. Just go ahead and talk right into that thing as we take and look at the videotape when it comes up. And what are you expecting from your football team? Now, what game is it? This is Clovis West. This was, what, in November sometime?
Yeah, they played Clovis West. We played last year twice.
Yeah.
And both were victorious. This is basically a fly sweep you're seeing here with
I think you score on this drive, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
But what are you expecting from your players this year?
Well, we're expecting to run the football and be very effective playing a little tough guy, smash mouth football. That's the makeup that we have on this year's team.
Sanger High School type football? Run it down your throat?
If we can.
Yeah.
You know, Sanger's had great success. Chuck Shadan is a good friend, and they run a great program. But
I think you score on this play here, matter of
yeah,
fact.
I'm guessing we're going to run here to Kevin Nutt, who's alongside Kyrie McGee here at quarterback. He's going to go right in the belly, right up the middle.
Yeah, they scored.
Yeah, touchdown right there. That's a great individual effort, but that's a great young man right there, Kevin Nutt, who will be attending the University of Nevada. He's verbal commitment there. Great track athlete and an outstanding student athlete, a 3.5 GPA guy. We were talking about school and grades. He's a young man who gets the whole picture.
Okay.
That without the classroom work, you can't get it done on the football field.
So you're going to run the football. That's primary. That's number one. Passing is secondary. Let's take a call here before we got to go because we only got about 4 minutes left here. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. Make it quick. How are you?
I'm fine.
Hey, good. Quickly.
Matt, this is Jim, one of your regulars.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, question for you. Do you see any plans to expand World Sports Cafe in the near future?
Yeah, I think you asked the question, do we have plans to extend World Sports?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that the CEO of our company, Tim McDonald, will make the ultimate decision. We are still under a lease for the next 8-9 months. And after that, we have an option to extend, and Tim McDonald will make the decision from there. But yes, absolutely, the future is still there, and it's still bright.
Hey, I appreciate the phone call. I appreciate the phone call. Any other questions really quick because we're running short on time. We got like 2 minutes. Oops, okay. Thank you for the call. I apologize. Thank you very much. I don't want to get cut off here because we're on network time. So run the ball first. What are you expecting from defense real quick?
Defense, we're gonna bring pressure from a lot of different areas, but we're going to play safe, sound defense. We definitely do not want to be giving up big plays. That's our job as Edison Tiger offense, to make the big play. But we've been giving up the big play too much, even in the past few years. So we want to play a safe zone-type defense and bring pressure from a few little things that we're going to do from different angles.
Let me ask you a question, because yesterday we taped a program with Chuck Shadan, the head football coach at Sanger High. It's going to air tomorrow on the 4th of July. I asked him the question, how do you keep the parents off your back? The parents who want their kids to play every down, every minute, every game. There's a lot of pressure. How do you just keep them at arm's length? How do you deal with it?
Well, number one, you have to be honest.
Yeah.
And sometimes honesty hurts, but if you're telling them stories and then it turns out not to be true, then you're stuck.
Yeah.
So I just tell the parents, look, every player we have can't obviously play college football or go to the NFL, but they can be assured of a good education if they want it. Get your education, compete daily, let the coaches make decisions on playtime. Playtime is not negotiable. It's just the way it is, and most of the parents get it. You're always going to have a few.
Yeah.
And I can't go into detail on how we handle those parents, but
wow.
overall, we tell them the truth.
Just let you do your job.
Gotta win.
That's what it boils down to.
If I'm winning,
you're the coach.
I'm good.
I mean,
we have a lot of pressure on that.
Leave him alone. Let him do his job. He's the coach. All right. Leave Shadan alone. Let him coach. That's why
it goes with the territory.
No, I know.
And it's all part of the game.
I know. You know, I'm just joshing around here.
Sure you are.
I'm just kidding around. But Matt, it's always good to have you. You come back again with Nick anytime. You're welcome.
I will. Thank you very much.
You're a great
Love
guest.
What you guys do. Thank you, John.
Thank you so much. Matt Johnson, the new head football coach at Edison High. Good luck to the Tigers and, of course, Matt this year. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. A special edition of Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno tomorrow. Chuck Shadan is our guest on MeTV Fresno. Back tomorrow.
Hi, I'm John Malos, and I'm here to talk about digital TV. Many people ask, what is DTV? Well, it's digital television. You can pay for it via cable or satellite, or you can get it free directly from broadcast TV stations. A few years ago, when I was anchoring the local news, over-the-air viewers could only get maybe 7 or 8 channels. Well, now that broadcast TV stations are digital, there are more channels than ever. Over 45 free channels now in Fresno, and more are coming soon. Gone are the days of snowy and ghosting images. With broadcast DTV, all channels are crystal clear and they sound great. You can watch America's best classic TV shows. Get all the major networks, plus local and world news, sports, foreign language, shopping, music video, and movie channels absolutely free. When it comes to high definition, broadcast HD channels look better than paid TV services because broadcast stations don't compress their signals like cable and satellite, so their HD programming has higher resolution, more detail, and crisper pictures. Best of all, there are no monthly charges, ever, because Broadcast DTV is a free service. How do you get the free Broadcast DTV? Well, it's simple. If you have a newer digital TV or an older TV with a digital converter box, all you need is an antenna. Plug the antenna into your TV or converter box and then scan for channels. You may have to rotate your antenna just slightly to get the most channels. For best results, I recommend using a new aesthetically pleasing outdoor antenna. Just set up the antenna, scan, and watch. Affordable antenna kits are available as low as $35 and can be found on our website. You concerned about installing a new antenna? We can recommend a professional installer who will come to your home and get you completely set up for a reasonable fee. It's that simple. Visit freetvfresno.com to learn more about free DTV.